Five, four, three, two, one. I'm John Miglash with WDMA. We're going to be talking about uh, advertising, customer service, and predictions today. So hang with me. But before we get going, get over here like this. I'm supposed to do it this way. Okay, before we get going, let's see if I did this wrong. No, I did it right. Before we get going, we're going to talk about, we're going to have a special. This kick off the year special. I don't know how long it'll run. We'll see. Can't tell you that. But what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, if you join the WDMA, then you get a free conversation. If you take an individual member, you get a half an hour, which is a $250 value of my regular rate. And if you join corporate, you can have an hour and a half, which is a $750 value, which is more than the price of admission. So I really encourage you to give me a call. I love puzzles. And if you've got a marketing puzzle or a customer service puzzle or something that we can talk about, I can't promise that it'll shake your mind, but some of these conversations have changed businesses and changed industries. So I can tell you that it can have incredible value, and maybe it'll be the start of something more. So I highly encourage you to give me a call, or just start off by writing john@wdma.org. You don't have to look it up. You can remember that. And my number's around. LinkedIn is a good way. Send me a message on LinkedIn. We'll set up a time. But before we get going, let's watch. This is the #1 Dutch Volkswagen commercial of all time. The #1 commercial where a little old lady is selling her little Golf station wagon. And I'm going to play this one a little bit faster than the original, and I'm going to play the new one, which just came out. Okay, so the dad and the son are going to buy a car from a little old lady, and they think she's probably gentle driver. There she is spinning out. He slams the hood, which she doesn't like. I'm going to turn that sound down a little bit. She's bouncing it over bridges. She's parks it, flips it around and parks it. And the tagline is, not every little old lady is equally trustworthy. Luckily, Golf is. Okay, so that's that commercial. Now we're going to go to the new commercial. Okay, so she sold her car and she's kind of down. There's nothing in the garage. She's making Volkswagen cookies to remember her car with. She's at the tea party. She sees herself with the old Golf, and she gets a tattoo that says "Forever" tattoo. And so then she goes down to the dealership and she sees if she can get a test drive with the new electric vehicle. And of course she goes out on the test track and spinning donuts and knocks it into place, and that's the new ad. So anyway, I thought that was pretty funny, and not every granny is trustworthy, thank heaven that Volkswagens are. Now, I don't know. I hope Volkswagen can handle, cold temperatures. I would hope so, because they're, from Germany. There was a social commentator, Jordan Peterson, tweeted 40 below. How will the electric vehicles run in that? And I was telling my son about it. I went over there yesterday to watch the Vikings get trounced by the Packers. It was one of the most fun games. I encourage you to watch the highlights. Anyway, my son said that he saw we had this recent spate of very cold weather, not 40 below, but decently cold. And he watched a video of a guy saying, for 4 hours he tried at a charging station to charge up his electric vehicle, and it kept saying battery is warming up for 4 hours. Never did get it charged, I guess. I don't know if it made it home or not. So something to think about. It's something to think about when we take something that's absolutely, you know, reliable, your car getting running in the cold, running in the hot, and we throw it away and decide on new technology. It's something, it's sort of like how I feel about direct mail. We've got proven, not only do we have proven technology, go get uh, Scientific Advertising by Claude Hopkins. He says, the reason I know about advertising is because the direct mailers have been proving it for 50 years. And that was written 100 years ago. So he's looking back. He's looking back to what would now be 150 years of history for us. And it's still a classic. His book is still a classic. You should definitely read it. Scientificadvertising.com, available for free. And I encourage you to spend the extra $10 and get the audiobook and listen to it over and over in your car. That's probably running fine. But anyway, so here we have this technology that has baked in the null set so that we can do machine learning and we can do AI, and it actually works. It's proven. It's generated millions and millions and millions of dollars. The companies that keep mailing stay in business. The companies that cut and go to digital transformation tend to go out of business. Just FYI. So the bottom line is, be careful what you throw away, right? Be careful what you throw away. And sometimes the old guys have something to say. Not always, but sometimes. So let's get over to the regular news. Okay, this was an interesting article, and it's about the year. Oh, here first we'll get over here to the granny. Okay, this is the backstory. It says, not every old lady is trustworthy. Luckily, every Gulf is. And that's the story of, she sells her car. This is the first commercial with her car driving away, and then she has a fun test drive. And one of the comments in the YouTube said, I can't wait to see the third version where she's driving around the new electric vehicle. And then someone else commented, the new one won't hold up like the old one did. I have no vested interest in this. I just want you to know that was what someone who had an opinion on Volkswagen had to say. Okay, so next, let's see, the death of customer experience. This was an interesting article. Ron Miller, and this is from The Hustle, I think, and he said, we've been hearing for years how important customer experience is to business. Now I've always argued that if you just do what you say, sell valuable stuff for a reasonable price and get it there on time, that you're pretty well set. That the whole digital experience thing is perhaps overstated if you just keep your word. But I think customer service, I think companies have lost sight of that. Try to find a phone number, try to call some company when you're disappointed with their service. It's almost impossible. So he says poor customer that due to the economy or lack of employees, 2022 was a year of poor customer service, which just created poor experiences. And there's no separating the two. No matter how great your product or service, if you'll ultimately be judged by how well you do things when things go wrong. The customer service team, absolutely true, is your direct link to your buyers. And when I used to be in charge of customer service, we put customer service not under operations, but under marketing, okay, back in the day. But I'm still working with that company today, so it's still relevant, I think. And we also had a policy that they could, if they had a real problem with a customer, they could send it to me. So my phone would ring, internally in the office, and I would be unsuspecting, and I would pull it up, and somebody be screaming at me. I heard a really clever idea, which was that one company, they had a large customer service telestaff, but they had one desk next to the president's office, little desk there, and that was just one of the customer service people. But when they had a really irate customer, they would say, would you like to talk to the office of the president? I can transfer you to his assistant. And they would transfer her, they would take turns at this desk, being the assistant. And customers really liked that. it didn't really cost anything. It was just a really good PR move to, calm things down. And it was kind of like the same thing as, we'll transfer you. Would you like to talk to the vice president of marketing? Holy smokes, Bo Winkle, let's go. So anyway, but he cites a video from this past, it was dated the 27th of December, 2022, where Southwest Airlines, somebody at a gate desk, some gate agent, they can be the meanest of all. I haven't had any bad experiences with Southwest, but I understand that they canceled like 2/3 of their flights. I don't know why. Okay, I just saw on the news while I was watching the Packer game or something that they just had piles and piles and piles of luggage because they botched everything up. And I heard that they got bought out, and the new management isn't as amiable as the old. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that I couldn't believe it. So let's try and get back over to YouTube, and let's see if we can make this work here. This is going to be tricky. Okay, it says you are threatened to get arrested for trespassing. She says,
not to Washington, D.C. or Phoenix.
She says, well, I'm in this area just waiting to talk to a gate agent.
You understand that, right?
But if you're asked to leave, I can arrest you.
No, they don't. If they tell you to
We are told at the counters that we have to see a CSA.
We were told at the counter we have to see a CSA, so we're waiting to see one.
Because you guys are conjugated right here.
She said, we have tickets. He said, no, your ticket was canceled, so your ticket isn't valid. So you're in a secure area without a ticket. Well, here's my ticket. No, that one's not good. Well, they're going to get me a new ticket. Right. Well, until you have that, you can't stand here and talk to anybody to get a new ticket. And apparently Southwest has, issued apologies and all this. But as what's his name here? Let's turn that off. That video was unbelievable. But as Ron says, word can spread fast. Okay, we've been hearing how data will drive better experiences, right? But the customer service people don't so much need data. They need help, and they need training and guidance, and they need a way to solve the problem, right? And they need the authority to solve the problem. So in 2022, it seems companies cut back on customer service to the detriment of their customers' experience and ultimately to the reputation of their brand, right? You spend millions and millions and millions of dollars. So, and I'll tell you another story. So we got a brand new stove. I don't remember. There wasn't anything wrong with our old stove. It just, was chipped up, and, my wife wanted a new stove. Okay, so we get her a brand new stove, and we decide to use it for Mother's Day. We try and cook 2 prime rib roasts. Okay, so the oven heats way up, and then you just let the prime rib sit inside it. And as the oven range, whatever you call it, it's got both. As it's cooling down, the porcelain finish on the range top starts popping off, and little shards of porcelain, which is like razor blades, pops off. And this is Mother's Day, and we got like 35 people or something, including kids, in the house. And finally, we put a bed sheet or something over the whole range because it was just spraying them out into the kitchen. And our kitchen is kind of connected to the living room. I mean, it's designed for parties. And so we called Whirlpool, and they were like, well, we'll send you a new part. We'll send you a new part for the top of the stove. And I said, this is a pretty serious issue. My wife really handled most of it. I said, see if you can get to the VP of marketing or somebody, And so we sent them pictures of what the thing looked like and all the glass around it, from the day of the party. And we said, you really want to really have a look at this stove. You really want to get it back and figure out, because you don't ever want this to happen to anybody again. And so we think you should come and get it and ship it back to headquarters, which is in Iowa, I think. And we expect a refund on it and a new stove. which, in the grand scheme of things is like, a couple of $100. Because, we promise we won't put these out on the internet unless, unless you, unless you don't help us out. And by the time she got to the VP of marketing, they understood that this could hit them for millions and millions of dollars. You know, not sure, not saying, but they actually did come through and they did all of that, and we never did post the pictures. And as far as I know, they haven't had a problem with it. I don't know. We just got one weird stove, or maybe they actually paid attention. I don't know, but good for them, So I'm actually saying good for them that they actually stood up and solved it. So anyway, that was good. So predictions from the hustle. I like this one. Okay, there were a lot of predictions. There were a lot of predictions about Elon Musk and Twitter, so perhaps the most obvious prediction for 2023 is that Musk will continue to dominate the conversations, which I was funny. He's a very clever guy, very insightful, I think. How he does these little, couple of word tweets, and I understand what he's talking about. I don't understand Twitter for the most part, but I do understand him, seems like. Some companies are going to use the recession as an excuse to cut benefits and inspire a fear to quit in their employees. Well, I think it's always a balance, right? Can I get another job? Companies will continue to make budget cuts to cut to a skeleton staff. Okay, which, often happens. And often is the root cause of the customer service debacles. What inspired the Southwest gate agent? I stood there for I don't know, let's see if I can't remember the name of the airline, but I was flying out to a musician's friend, and it's not that easy to get to Medford. At the time it was in Medford that moved it to LA. And the plane had some challenges getting out of Chicago, so they flew back and worked on it some more and flew out to Las Vegas for the connecting flight. And about 6 of us were on this flight to Medford, and we ran the whole length of the Las Vegas airport, which isn't that big, and the little puddle jumper was sitting right there. And that gate agent would not let us, even if it was both the same airline, they would not let us on that plane. And there wasn't another flight that I could get on for a couple of days. And so I just flew home. That's all I could do. I wasn't, and I talked to, a pilot, as they were ferrying us to a hotel. And he said, we would have recalculated it. It's the last flight. That gate agent just wanted to get home. And it was, so anyway, customer service is a big deal and a good way to lose customers forever, and the stories will spread. And I wish I remembered that, but I don't want to misascribe that to the wrong airline. I think they're out of business now anyway. By December 2023, in the next year, our global best of articles will be authored by ChatGPT. That may be the case. But they can't do video like this. So don't forget, if you want to talk marketing, if you got a puzzle that you want to just run by somebody else for another set of eyes, join the WDMA and we'll give you a couple of minutes and we'll have a good talk, and it might surprise you. But WDMA.org/join. Happy New Year.